Hi, everybody. So welcome to our final class of Pro Touch-Ups for our Makeup Masterclass. My name is Sarah Mandrasina. Welcome to this, if you're on the East Coast, this very rainy evening. I'm excited. This is the perfect thing to do on a rainy night, is to learn about looking flawless. If you are catching this live, please say hello so that I know that you're here. And of course, make sure you comment for a giveaway. We're going to be giving away something great tonight. So you're going to want to be entered to win this drawing. So all comments will be entered to win the giveaway. So the more you comment, the more entries you get. Questions, comments, whatever it may be. I can see some of your questions right away. Sometimes I can't. So if I don't answer your question on camera, I will certainly get back to it for you. So if you are catching me live, please say hi so that I know you can hear me. I want to make sure that there's no issues with the audio because that has happened before. Okay, so let's get started. Tonight is about Pro Touch-Ups, one of my favorite topics. And this is a great course because have you ever found or seen a friend or a woman that their makeup looked really flawless all day long? And you're wondering, what in the world is different about what she's doing versus what I'm doing? So this is going to be a course to help you understand those types of differences. And first and foremost, we're going to go through and we're going to talk about what the professional makeup artists know and use with celebrities and just in general. Hey, Stacy. So thanks for joining us tonight. So I'm going to break it down for you in pieces. I'm going to start off by talking about makeup brushes. And I think makeup brushes are one of those things where I think most of you know, you've heard me talk about it before, how important they are. But you know what? Sometimes it's good to understand the why behind things. I'm a very big into explaining the why. And I'm going to share a document with you. And I'm going to kind of talk about these brushes. So one of the things I love about the Mary Kay brushes is this. These brushes are designed and they are professionally designed by an international makeup artist helped Mary Kay design these brushes. Now, most brushes on the market are made of real hair, usually pony hair, sometimes rabbit hair, goat hair. And the reason why most makeup brushes are designed that way is because natural hair picks up makeup products really well. However, the process of doing that with natural hairs is the problem is when they gather the hair and bind it into the brush and then bind it right here, what happens is all the hairs that they bind are not exactly the same length because they're natural hairs. And then what happens is you have fallout. So you'll notice, like, if you have a natural hair makeup brush, you might see little bristles all over your face, and it's annoying. They fall out. And what a lot of times professional makeup artists do is they add extra hairs into the binding, knowing that you're going to have a certain percentage of bristles that fall out. It's still frustrating. So what I love is about this brush is that Mary Kay makeup brushes are synthetic hairs. And what that means is they are not real hair, but they are laser cut by a computer to make them function and appear and feel like real hair. These brushes, if you've never tried them, are so soft. So if you have sensitive skin or sensitive eyes, you're going to love these brushes. So let's talk about this brush in particular right now. I'm going to show you my document. And by the way, if you are watching live, please say hi. And if you would like these documents that I have been showing on all the master classes, go ahead and direct message me, and I would be more than happy to send you the documents, the PDF document, so that you have this information for your own knowledge, maybe to page back through. So just send me a message or just post below that you would love the booklet, and I will get it to you for sure. I'm going to work on loading it into the site as well. But this is the Mary Kay all over powder brush. And this brush is used for multiple different things. Now, what I love about the Mary Kay brushes, because they're synthetic, that means they can be used with wet products or dry products. If you have a natural hair makeup brush, you could only use it with dry products. So I love the versatility that Mary Kay has provided us with these brushes. And I'm going to show you the Mary Kay Essential Brush Collection first. This is one of the brushes in that collection, the all over powder brush. This can be used multiple different ways. If you are an combination of oily or oily skinned woman, you would likely use this brush to press and roll your translucent powder to get the shine away from your skin. Or you would also use this brush to set your foundation. You apply your foundation first and then set it so that you have less shine and less oil control and more oil control. If you are not oily skin and maybe you don't want oil control, this brush is awesome. And this is what I often use it for myself, is a blending brush, meaning let's say you go a little cheek color happy, because sometimes that happens. Does anybody else put their cheek color on a little heavy sometimes? And you're like, whoa, girlfriend. So this brush can be used to buff out any of the extra cheek color that you may have overdone on your cheeks. It can also be used to blend any of your contour or your mineral powder or your highlight to buff it out. So this brush can be used in multiple different ways. I love this brush. And the next brush we're going to talk about, let me see if I can make this brush chart a little bigger for you and still see me. Let's see here. Okay, I'm here. The next brush we're going to talk about is the Mary Kay cheek brush. And that's what I'm going to show this right here. The Mary Kay, I call this a 3-in-1 cheek color brush. I'm going to show it to you up close. It has an angle on it and a tippy point right here and a little dimple right here to put your finger. And what I love about this brush is that it can do multiple things. It can be used to apply your cheek color right here in the apple of your cheek and blend up. It can be used to apply your highlighter on the tippy part. And this little dense part right here, you can go ahead and use this, which is what I was trying to show you last week and didn't have it with me, to apply your contour back and forth. So again, a multiple use product that you can use various different ways for your applying your cheek color. I love things that you don't have to have tons of different brushes for multiple uses. So I love this brush. This is the Mary Kay cheek color brush, what I also call the 3-in-1 cheek color brush. Now, what I love so much too is because these brushes are synthetic, and I mentioned to you how natural hair brushes will lose the hairs, especially even if they add extra binding. These have never shed ever since I've ever had them. I have multiple brushes. I have older ones. I have newer ones. These brushes, I've never once found a hair from these brushes on my face. So I love that so, so much. And if you take good care of your brushes, they'll last you a really long time. And we'll talk about caring for your brushes as well. The next brush we're going to talk to you about is, let's talk about some eyeshadow brushes. And again, this is part of our Essential Brush Collection. And the Essential Brush Collection comes in this adorable makeup case that holds the brushes for you. The third brush is the All Over Shadow Brush. And this brush is really a brush that I'm going to make myself bigger, actually. I think it'd be better if you can see me bigger. The Mary Kay All Over Shadow Brush is one of my favorite eyeshadow brushes because it is actually a brush that can be used various different ways as well. I like keeping multiple of these in my bathroom. One I always keep clean for blending, and we'll talk a little bit about blending. But what I use this for is I use this to apply my mid-tone color in my crease. And the mid-tone color is probably the most boring color in your palette, okay? You're probably thinking, this doesn't do a whole lot for me. And I know we've talked about it in our other classes, but let me show you a little bit about what the mid-tone color would look like, okay? The mid-tone color would be something like, hold on, I'm backwards. This right here, this medium color right there is called Hazelnut. And hazelnut, lavender fog, soft heathers. I'm talking about old color names sometimes. Soft heathers, dusty rose, those are all matte, wonderful mid-tone colors. It builds depth through your eye. And you're really going to go from your crease all the way over. It's not so much about being chiseled and specific in the sense of keeping it in very tight areas. It's a little bit fluffier of a brush, okay? So I love this brush, but I also love this brush to apply my highlighter below my brow bone and my highlighter above my brow bone, as well as the clean brush I told you about that I always use to blend my eyeshadows to make sure all the lines are clean and taken care of. So having at least 2 of these in your collection, I think is great. And the reason why I say that is because think of your makeup brushes like this. How many of you have really expensive knives in your kitchen? And maybe there was a time in your life where you didn't have expensive knives in your kitchen. Maybe you had just like, not that there's anything wrong with that, but maybe you just had like, go to the local Target or whatever and bought whatever kind of knives were there in the butcher block. And after a while they get dull and you notice your food is hard to cut and it's frustrating and you keep putting it off. You don't buy the knives. But then one day you bring home a beautiful set of really quality knives. Henkel's, Listovia. I have Cutco knives are my favorite. And you're like, wow, my food is cutting so much easier and it is so much more flawless. It's so much easier to cook. It's so much easier for my kids to cut their own meat. And it's just, why did I wait so long to do this? It's the same thing with makeup brushes. You have multiple knives in your kitchen, multiple utensils in your kitchen for different things. Your makeup brushes are your utensils for your makeup and your face. And have you ever had, comment below, have you ever bought a brand new makeup brush and you just like fall in love with that brush? And you're like, oh my gosh, I love how my makeup looks right now. Well, most likely that's because it's brand new brush, number one, and it's clean. So the second thing we're going to talk about is about cleaning your brushes. And if you feel like, maybe your makeup isn't looking as perfect as you would like it to look, it's probably because you need to clean your brushes. So we'll talk about ways a little bit later how to clean them. So that's the Oliver Shadow brush. What's one of my favorites? The next brush we're going to show you is the crease brush, also part of the Essential Brush Collection. The crease brush, if you can see that, it has an angle. Oh, hold on. Let me put my hand up there. It has an angle on the tip. So you can get exact placement of the shadow, okay? And one of the things I want to show you about using these brushes, any of these brushes, is how to apply the shadow on the brushes. Most people go like this in their shadow. They go swipe, swipe, swipe. If you actually go dip, 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 tap, 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 you'll get the product into the bristles of the brush and get it into multiple layers of the brush. So as you're applying the shadow, you're actually getting a full dimension application. And so as you're blending it, it's still applying the color in layers. So dip, 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 don't swipe, swipe, swipe when you're applying your shadows on the brushes. So, that's one of the tips I want to give you. Now, this brush specifically is the crease brush. I love the crease brush because the crease brush is what gives you that contour in the crease of your eye. And what do I mean by that? We talked about eye shape earlier, but I have I have a lot of space in my eyes. Okay, so if your eye shape is more of a hooded eye, then one of the things you're going to love about this brush is that you're going to go apply this color. I'm going to use the tip of the brush in the outer corner of my eye, and I'm going to blend it right through here, right in the crease of my eye. If you have hooded eyes and you're like, I don't have a crease, or if I apply to my crease, I don't see it afterwards, you're just going to go slightly higher to build that crease. I love using this brush for that when I do bridal makeup or event makeup because it really helps give me that precision of a crease build that I want, and I'm able to control it because this angle gives me that perfect angled shape that I want on the exterior part of my eye, especially the fourth of my eye. And I know I showed you this a couple weeks ago, but you want to make sure this tip brush, you're laying it on the outer corner of your eye like this, kind of just go like this, a swipe. I'm not doing it on my eye right now, but I'm just going swipe. And then that first part of color that you use this brush for is on the outer corner of your eye, which is where you want it. And then you pull it through your crease and blend it down towards your lid. So this brush gives you a precision contoured the darkest shadow you use is what you would use this brush for, okay? And the final brush in the Essential Brush Collection that comes in the adorable case, I love this case at Zippers, is a Mary Kay favorite brush. I feel like everybody falls in love with this brush. This is the Eye Smudger brush. It's a small angle. It's a tippy brush. It's tiny. And this brush is great for precision application. So if you notice under my eyes, it's hard for me to see myself, but if you notice under my eyes, I kind of have like a little bit of a smudge under my eye. This brush is awesome for taking that darkest shadow. So one of the shadows, my favorite eyeshadows is Merlot. I wear it all the time. I'm wearing it right now. Merlot looks like this. It's this darker shade right here. It's kind of a winey, brownie color. It's Merlot. It's wine. It's wine for your eyes. Okay. Who doesn't love that? So this brush is great for taking that darker shade and smudging it under my lash line to give me a softer line, especially if you want to smoke out your eye a little bit. But if you want a softer if you want a line under your eyes and you want it to be softer, using this technique with this brush is awesome. And if you've ever had a smudger brush before in the past, sometimes these brushes are hard to get the application you want. Like they put on too little. It gets blotchy. This one is so phenomenal. You can also use it to really get in that crease of your eye. If you really want to build some depth in here, you can push that color right here through the outer corners of your eye to make that really sharp and get more depth through your eye. You can also use it to go on top of your liner if you want to add some additional depth of color, especially if you're setting your liner for whatever reason with powder. You could use it for that as well. Okay, so that is the eye smudger brush. I love this. And this is the other brush I taught you last week that is also used for, I use it for the contour down the sides of my nose and the highlight down the center of my nose. So having a couple of these is always a great option too. That way you don't accidentally put Merlot eyeshadow down your center of your nose. It can also be used as a lip brush because remember, since these brushes are synthetic, you can use them with wet products or dry products. Whereas if you had natural brushes, you would have to purchase synthetic brushes specifically to be used for lip products, concealers. You could not mix and match. So I love that you don't have to think about, oh, is this brush going to be okay to use with this type of product? So that is the essential brush collection that we have. Now we're going to talk a little bit about, let me go ahead and show you the next set of these brushes. We're going to now talk about the customized collection. And the customized collection is basically an extension to the essential collection. So these are additional specific brushes that you may or may not need based on what your goal is for your makeup. My personal opinion is we need them all. Okay, I literally use every single one of these brushes every single day. And even on the days where I don't have like this much makeup on, I still use them. So the first brush let's talk about is the Mary Kay foundation powder brush. So this brush is, let me show you this better. This brush is a smaller, shorter, circular brush that you would use to apply your mineral powder foundation. And our mineral powder foundation is the one that comes in a jar and it buffs away imperfections. So this one is used in this type of fashion. You're kind of pushing the mineral powder all over your face to push it into your skin and get that flawless coverage from the powder. You have to use this brush with mineral powder foundation because it gives you that flawless finish and it gives you the coverage you want. If you were to use, for example, this brush to apply your mineral powder foundation, it would give you a lighter coverage, more of a loose powder type coverage versus the actual mineral powder medium type coverage foundation. So the brushes do play a part in how your makeup comes out. So now let's talk about the next brush is the eyeliner eyebrow brush. Okay, this one we talked about last week. It has a little spoolie on the end and a little liner on the other end. And this brush is great for multiple things. The liner part can be used to line under your eyes. If you want a soft line again, you can just tap a little bit of this on your eyeliner pencil and go under your eye to line it. You can also use it to apply, once you get your liner on your top lids and you want to soften it or just smooth it out, you can just go right over top of it to smooth it out. It's great to help get a little kick up. If you need a little help with the little kick up I taught you, remember you always do the kick up from the bottom. And then it's also great for if you want to apply powder. If I wanted to apply eyeshadow in my brows, I don't have a color here that would match my brows, but if I wanted to apply powder shadow in my brows to fill them in more, I could do that. And then the spoolie part I can use to brush my brows, especially before I do my pencil and my brow tint. And then I also use this also after I apply my brow tint to kind of brush them out a little bit because sometimes I get a little crazy and put too much on. The final way I use this brush is if sometimes, do you ever notice that sometimes you put your mascara on and you want a little mascara happy on one side versus the other, and maybe you just need to comb out a couple of the lashes so they're more fanned out because you put too much on. So this will help fan out those lashes and you're able to separate them the way you need to separate them. So that is what you use this brush for. And then we have, okay, so this is probably my favorite brush. I love this brush. This is the cream color brush. And if you look at this cream color brush, this one, it kind of looks like a finger. And I just washed this one, so it's wet. So I don't know if I have a dry one over here, but here I go. This one's not wet. Okay, so this one, it kind of looks like a finger, right? It's like a similar shape to a finger. And the reason why is because this one is designed to apply concealers and your under eye corrector or any kind of corrective product or small areas of your face that you want to get precision application for. So for example, I use this one under my eyes all the time to get my concealer, my under eye corrector. I use this also sometimes where if you've seen any of my videos recently on the new foil dual eyeshadows that just came out, you can also use this as a placement brush, and you can use it to press the shimmery type colors onto your lids. You can also use this type of brush, this specific one, to apply the liquid eyeshadows all over your lid to your brow. So again, it gives you a really great diversity to use this in multiple different ways. You can also use this to really chisel out your eyebrows. That tip I showed you last week with concealer. And if you do find that you have a hooded type eye, which I know a lot of you do, I have found that a lot of times this is great for building the depth through the crease, just another way to build depth. It's not great for blending, but it's great for placement and really getting that crease built higher so that when you open your eye, you can see the color as to where you want it placed. So that is the final eyeshadow brush in this collection. It's probably one of my favorites. I have definitely 3 or 4 of these in my bathroom because I use them for so many various different things. It's also great because you want to get your concealer and your corrector like in this bridge of your nose right here, and you want to get it all over your eye without getting it into your eyelashes. So it just gives you that flawless look and appearance. And if you've ever looked at a woman and you're like, wow, why does her makeup look so good all the time, no matter when I've seen her? It's because she's using brushes. And like I said, if you feel like you've gotten a brush before and you're like, wow, my makeup looks fabulous, and then all of a sudden you feel like, that means you need to start cleaning them. And the best way to clean your brushes, a couple different ways, is if you can deep clean them 1 to 2 times. I would say, I know makeup artists will tell you that you should definitely clean them once a week, but I know that you're not doing that. Okay. So I would say at the minimum, if you can deep clean your brushes once every 2 weeks, and you can do that various different ways. Number 1, you can use this regular Dawn dishwashing soap and get all the bacteria and oil out of your brushes. Remember, if it's safe enough for the baby birds that have oil all over them, it's safe enough for your makeup brushes. And that's great because it helps break down the bacteria. And then the other way you can cleanse your brushes is in between the deep clean. And in between the deep clean, I think, is where people mess up a lot of times. And Mary Kay has provided the Mary Kay brush cleaner. So all you have to do is spray the brush with the brush cleaner and then just wipe it on a paper towel to clean it. And now the color is off that brush. It's clean, okay? It's not sanitized clean, meaning deep clean, but it's clean so that if you wanted to switch colors, you don't have to worry about having green eyeshadow mixed in with your purple eyeshadow. So that's the whole point of it. And it's great to use in between the deep clean. I promise you'll find a big difference in your makeup application. So cleaning your brushes is essential. If you struggle with acne or any kind of excess oil to your skin, I'm going to tell you need to wash them, deep clean them once a week. And I promise you that's going to be a great free acne treatment assistance for you that will help control your acne because of the bacteria gets caught in them. You'll be getting them cleaner more often. It's going to help the acne on your skin. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to Prime to Perfect. Oh no, I missed 2 brushes. Oh my goodness. My 2 foundation brushes that we've talked about before. The first one is the liquid foundation brush. The liquid foundation brush is the one I use personally every single day. Let me show this one to you. This one is on an angle. Okay. And this is great for applying the CC cream. It's great for applying your 3D matte or luminous foundations. I love it because it just gives a flawless application to your foundation. You just do a dab, 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 and you start in the center of your face and you blend out. It gives you a beautiful porcelain medium coverage with your foundation look. If you use this brush with your CC cream, it's going to give you a little bit more coverage out of your CC cream than if you use your fingers, especially as we're entering the winter months. And, as your fingers get dry, sometimes you get pilly skinned on your hands. If you're using your fingers to do that, you're going to see those stripes on your face. So I don't know if you've noticed, but I hope you can see this. I'm going to get closer to the camera. Do you notice a difference on one side of my face versus the other? And comment below if you can see a difference. and I'm going to talk to you about what the difference is when we move on to the next category. But I was fascinated when I did this to myself today, because I do certain things every single day on my whole face. And today I was like in awe of what I found when I did this to my face. So I'll teach you what I did, and we'll explain to you what I did, because I don't want you to do this to your face. And let me know if you see a difference. What we're going to do next is we are going to talk about the final foundation brush. And this one is the newest one to the Mary Kay collection. It's called the blending brush. And yes, okay. So this blending brush is a brush. It is not a sponge. It looks like a sponge from first glance, but it's actually a bristle brush. There is very tiny bristles packed in here. And this foundation brush is the brush you would use if you want to get a fuller application or coverage from your foundation. So if you're using the Mary Kay CC cream, and this is one of the lighter coverages of foundation, and let's say you want to get more coverage out of it, this brush is going to give you more coverage from that product. If you want a more airbrush finish on your foundation, and you're using, let's say, the Mary Kay 3D foundation, this is going to give you a more airbrush flawless finish to your foundation. So I actually applied CC cream on first, because I always do that. I love the glow it gives me. Glow is good, shine is not. And then I applied my 3D foundation with this brush over it. And let me talk to you about the difference. Yes. Okay. So somebody commented they do see a difference from my face. One side looks more lifted than the other. And that is exactly true. I am sitting here shocked at when I was looking at myself in the mirror and I got closer. I wish you could see my pores. Maybe you can. This camera is my phone camera, so it has better quality. But yes, one side of my face is different than the other. And let me tell you what I did. Let's talk about Prime to Perfection. Prime to Perfection. Let me get my little chart up here so you can see it better. Prime to Perfection is, let me pull this up here, is basically, let me see if I can pull this, make this bigger for you. I'll be smaller. Okay, so Prime to Perfection. Prime to Perfection is priming your makeup before you apply it. And this is a well-known makeup artist trick in the industry. And I just proved to myself that every single person that ever sits down in front of me ever again is going to try it this way from now on, because it's fascinating to me. And that is the foundation primer. Let's talk about this first. The Mary Kay foundation primer. This is a really clear gel that you apply before your foundation. You can see it's clear, silky gel, and it has SPF 15 in it. But what it does is it primes your foundation. It grabs onto the product. Think of it like a magnet where it holds onto the product on your face. It smooths out the wrinkles and minimizes your pores. That I was shocked about how much it minimized my pores. And I wouldn't say I have large pores by any means, but I put every primer we own only on this side of my face. Okay, so let's go back to just me. Oh, wrong way. Okay, hold on. Okay, I put primer on this side of my face. I have the foundation primer, and I have the eyeshadow primer, and I have the lip primer, and I have the lash primer only on this side of my face. This side of my face has all the regular makeup on, but no primers. And I'm shocked at the difference. I wish you could see my pores. Now, this side of my face, let me see, I'm backwards here. So this is the side that does not have the primer. And I'm going to try to get closer. Can you see my pores right through here? Whereas this side of my face, you don't see the pores. So the primer, think of foundation primer as the same as, for example, when you go paint your home. If you hire a painter to come paint your walls, they prime the wall first to make it smooth, to get rid of all the scuffs, to get rid of all the porous stuff that's there. They prime it first. It makes it perfect before the paint goes on. It makes the paint last longer and more true to color and hold. Same thing with your foundation primer, okay? So I'm shocked at how much this has made my skin look so much different on the side of my face. Okay, so now let's talk about eyeshadow primer. And actually, you know what? I'm going to show you a little demo first. This is my orange. This is my little tool tonight. Let me show you my little oh, hold on. I have to stream here. Let's show you this picture real quick. So if you see in my picture right here, you can see the primer. This is on an orange, and you can see where the peel is. There's primer on one side and no primer on the other with foundation on top of it. So that's why you see the orange in the middle. One side has no primer with foundation. The other side has foundation with no primer. So I'm going to do that for you right here and show you what it does with the orange. So I have an orange, it's a basic regular orange, and I'm going to take my foundation primer. Hopefully I do this, make sure I see where I put it. I'm going to put my foundation primer on a little bit of this orange. I'm going to rub it in right here on my orange, and I can already see this one little spot. You probably won't be able to see this on camera. It looks smoother, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Mary Kay 3D foundation. I'm just going to grab a darker shade. I'm going to apply that right where I put that primer, okay? And I'm going to put right next to it, sorry, it's hard to do this on camera, the foundation. This is where there's no primer. I'm going to rub this on right through here. Then this side right here is where I put the primer. Oh, wow, look at that. This is where I put the primer. Make sure I don't get this all over my jeans. Okay. Right here has the primer. Over here does not have the primer. Can you see how one looks smoother? This has primer. This does not have primer. Let me see if I can show that to you better. You can see the smoothness. If I made it a little thinner, let me see if I can make it thinner, smooth it out for you so you can see it better. There we go. Let me smooth this one out too. So this is so cool because this is like, you know, I chose an orange because orange have like those little porous things on the skin that look, there we go. You can see the difference. And you can see how one looks more porous and smooth. There you go. So that's what it does for your skin as well. And what I love about the foundation primer is that it just makes your skin, especially if you have some areas that you wish were not so apparent, especially pores, it really helps close those in for you and makes them look flawless and smooth. It also helps, has light diffusers in it. So for the imperfections on our skin, texturized skin, it really helps soften those. So it's another great pro tip for you. Makeup artists have been using foundation primer for years, and it's not going anywhere for sure. So let's talk about eyeshadow primer, okay? Eyeshadow primer is similar in the sense that eyeshadow primer actually holds on to the color of your eyeshadow. And it goes just from your lid to your brows and into your brow hair. If you have issues with your makeup staying on, number one, eyeshadow primer is going to be your best friend, okay? A little bit goes a long way. It's going to also act like a magnet. It's also going to act like, it's going to make the color more vibrant. And I already put this on my hand just so you can see the difference for time reasons, but let me show this to you. So right here, this right here, hold on, everything's backwards. Okay, right here is the one with the primer, same color, and then right next to it is the one without primer. Let me show you up close. You can see the depth of color. The top one has is the Merlot eyeshadow that I have on my eyes. It has the primer underneath of it, and right below it is the Merlot eyeshadow with no eyeshadow primer. So you can see not only is the color more vibrant, it's more deep, and the funny part is I put more eyeshadow on the bottom stripe of my hand, trying to get it to look darker than I did on the top. So it really grabs onto the color more on your shadows to make them look more vibrant and make them stay all day. If you have oily eyelids, this is definitely your best friend because it's going to keep the oil down. It's going to keep your eyeshadow from smudging or creasing. And if you have texturized skin, it's going to help soften out some of that texture. So I think eyeshadow primer is essential no matter who you are. And the great thing about this product too is that this lasts a long time. You don't need very much. Like all you need is a little pin drop for your whole eye. So eyeshadow primer is, look at the difference. I mean, that alone, if you're going to put on eyeshadow, you want it to look great, right? So make it look vibrant and beautiful. So I have primer on this eye and I have no primer on this eye. And let's see if we can, let me see if you can, hopefully you can see so you can see the difference in colors and vibrancy. And it's funny because as I was putting on my eyeshadow, I kept trying to make this eye darker to match this eye because I kept forgetting I had primer only on this side. It was like a psychological battle I was having. But you can see the difference in vibrancy. It was also a lot easier to apply the color on this eye. I didn't have to use as much color, I noticed, because obviously I kept trying to put more on this eye, and I kept thinking, no, I'm doing this on purpose so I can show them tonight. So stop doing that. But you can see the difference on the color and the application. So I love eyeshadow primer, and that's a great makeup artist tip because my belief is if you're going to spend time, whether it's a 5-minute makeover or if it's going to be a more detailed makeup on yourself, you want it to stay all day. Don't waste your time and then not look fabulous all day long. And especially in the heat, sometimes the heat, and depending on where you live, it's more essential to have foundation primer and eyeshadow primer. If you live in Florida and you're in that humid, crazy humidity all the time, you definitely can't leave the house without primer on ever. But really, on the East Coast, we have a lot of humid days lately, and my face has been on since earlier this afternoon, probably around 11 o'clock-ish, I put it on, and I got caught in the rain, and it still looks good. So that rainstorm I got caught in, I had to re-straighten my hair because it was like curling crazy. But, that's what I mean by it keeps the colors perfect. So if you're going to spend time doing your makeup, you want it to look perfect all day long. And then finally, let's add this back to our stream here. Let's talk about the final touches to having primed lashes and primed lips. So what does that mean? Did you know that there is such a thing as lash primer as well as lip primer? Let's talk about that. So lip primer. Did you know that the Mary Kay Time Wise lip primer is the only anti-aging lip primer on the market anywhere? So we have the Mary Kay Time Wise complex built into this primer. And what is a lip primer? So lip primer, it's clear. Let me show it to you what it looks like. It's clear. It's retractable. The lip primer, if any of you are Mary Kay lip primer users, tell all the ladies what you think, because I think this is a product that often gets unnoticed sometimes. It's hard to demo, but basically I have lip primer on this half of my lips. I have lip liner on both. I have primer on this half, no primer on this half. And I'm amazed at how much smoother my lips were on this side of my mouth when I put the lipstick on. So I primed, I put lip liner on, and I put my lipstick on, and I have gloss on. So when I was doing it, what I noticed was how softer this side of my lips were than this side. It just glided versus catching a little bit on this side. Now, if you are a smoker, or if you are an avid straw drinker like me, I drink everything out of straw because I drink 10 times more water that way, you may find that your lips are getting vertical lines going through your mouth. And as we get older, that happens more and more. So if you struggle with either one of those things, if you were a smoker in the past or a smoker now, or you're an avid straw drinker, you may notice those lines, and they're pesky little lines, and nobody wants them. But if you put your lip primer on your lips, and just slightly out of your lips, just slightly out, it's going to help soften and smooth those lip lines. And guess what? Under a dermatologist testing, 100% of women that use this product over a 12-week period saw a 100% difference in the texture and the lines of their mouth. So I do have a couple of you out there that buy 4 or 5 of these at a time because you love it so much. So I know it works really well, but I think a lot of times we just don't know about it. And so it is an anti-aging product that helps with the aging process of the lip area. So what that means is not only is it going to help correct the aging that's right there right now, but it's going to also help prevent the aging that's going to be coming in the future. So it helps soften those lines, the depth of those lines. So again, it also keeps your lipstick on longer. So this will be on all day. So if you're a coffee drinker or you're just a big talker and you find your lipstick goes away a lot, this is a great product for you. This is essential if you are somebody with small lips, because it's going to help give you something to hold on to. It's essential for weddings. It's essential for any type of event you want your lips to look perfect. And I definitely think that no matter who you are, if you have aging issues or not in your lips, if you're going to wear red lipstick or red lip gloss, put that primer on, because there's nothing you want more than your red lipstick to be anywhere than where you put it. And that brings me to a point. In addition to the lines you get around your mouth, sometimes what happens is those lines create your lipsticks to bleed up. Feathering and bleeding, it's called. And so the primer seals it so that the feathering and bleeding does not go outside your lip area. Isn't that cool? So multiple uses, multiple functions. You will love the lip primer. I promise you that. And then last but not least, for primers, I have on this eye and not on this eye. And the mascara that I'm wearing tonight is, I always start my mascaras with my lash primer first. Here's my lash primer, and this one's a little dirty because it's mine, but it's clear, and this conditions your lashes, it lengthens your lashes, it separates your lashes, and it's clear. You can't see it. There's like a white brush going through it, but you don't see this. You'll see it kind of glisten on your lashes when you put it on. So what I love about this product is I felt the difference when I was putting on my mascara, but these lashes, let's see if I get a little closer. These lashes are much thicker looking than these lashes. It's more separated than these lashes. It just looks a little fuller over here. And I am wearing the Mary Kay Lash Intensity Mascara, which is the most volume mascara we have. So it's a great product. If you have a young girl who maybe wants to start wearing mascara and mom isn't quite ready yet, you can use this product by itself to help just enhance your lashes and make them look glistening, lengthen them, condition them, helps them grow. So one of those things that you can do if you're having a daughter who's really anxious to wear mascara, this is a great stepping stone to help her because it's clear. And then also, if you're using mascara, try incorporating this. I promise you, once you start using lash primer, you're like, where has this been all my life? Why have I not used lash primer? So yes, you can see this whole side of my face, if you're just jumping on, has all the primers: foundation primer, eyeshadow primer, lip primer, and lash primer, eyeshadow primer, all on this side of my face. This side has no primers, just all regular makeup. So you can see the difference in how my face looks more lifted on this side. It's amazing to see the difference of how, it just looks like pulled up more, and I didn't do anything different with my makeup application. I did contour both sides of my face. I highlighted both sides of my face, did my shadows the same, did my lips the same, but it does look more lifted. Okay, so now, last but not least, let's talk about how in the world do we keep all this makeup perfect throughout the day. And one of the things that you've heard me talk about before, actually, this is something you don't hear me talk about very often. And let me explain to you why. There's something called baking. And I'm going to bring this up to you because I get a lot of questions about this. And what baking is a technique that makeup artists have been doing for a really long time, is where you apply your concealer under your eyes, and then you apply a heavy, heavy dose of translucent powder underneath your eye and let it sit there for about 10 minutes. For example, while you're doing, it's like doing this under your eye, really caking it on and letting it sit there while you're doing your eyeshadow. And I mean, you're really putting layers of it on. And I'm using the blending sponge for this right now. And that's really what this does, is you sit it there for 10 minutes and it smooths out the eye area. And if you have any kind of oily areas on your face through here, it really absorbs the oil. Now, here's the thing about baking that the reason I don't teach this to you guys is because it's very much in the mainstream in the celebrity world, or you might see some bloggers or YouTubers or whatever talking about it. If you're 12, I think baking is awesome. But the majority of us visiting tonight are not 12 years old anymore, and we have some texture around our eyes. And in general, and I'm not saying always, you can play with this technique. In general, baking under your eyes can sometimes draw some attention to the mature, wise areas that you don't want to see anymore. And the reason why is because if you think about it, you're layering on tons of powder, okay? And it's sitting there for 10 minutes. And so it's absorbing all that moisture. You have your eye cream on, you have your foundation, you have your concealer. It's absorbing all the moisture that's there. And the less moisture you have going on there, the more prominent your lines are going to look if you have lines. So I'd say if you're 12, if you're 18, 19, 20, go for it. If you don't have any lines there, go for it. But better, what I would like to show you instead of baking, because I like to give you options. And of course, it's just personal preference. Try it. If you love it, awesome. If you don't do it. But in general, if you're over 12, and I'm using that as like humorous age, if you're in your early 20s, you can bake. So I'm just putting some translucent powder on my all over shadow brush. And I like just doing a soft dusting under my eye to set my concealer and my under eye corrector. Just do a soft dusting. One of the makeup artists that teaches me in Mary Kay, her name is Lori Hogg. She's an international makeup artist. She's so funny. She always says, baking is for the kitchen, not for your face. So she's taught me to set my makeup with translucent powder by using the all over shadow brush, going all over my colors to set it. Especially if you have extra oil on your lids or you feel like your makeup was moving in the past, you have that primer on. It's not going to move. But this just gives a light dusting of setting it. I didn't do any kind of heavy caking on, just lightly dusted it to help set the under my eyes, help set the colors, and just keeps it soft and flawless. So that's my preference with baking instead of baking. Now let's talk about oil control. Before we move on, I'm covering a lot of material tonight, so I appreciate you all staying on. Yes, no baking for you. I like it. Let's talk about oil control because some of you are oily gals out there. Give me a hands up if you're an oily girl. Tell me who you are. It's okay. Guess what? There's some benefits for being an oily girl. If you're oily skinned, you might notice you don't age as quickly. That's a bonus, right? So because those oils in your skin are keeping your skin hydrated and moisturized, so therefore you tend to wrinkle less quickly. So there's a bonus. Gotta love it because I know that those of you who are oily, you're like, oh my gosh, I would do anything not to be oily anymore. Well, guess what? Did you know your skin changes every 7 years? So if you are oily, you may wake up next year and be, why is my skin dry? So there is hope, okay? But the good thing is if you've been oily most of your life and you've switched your skin type to maybe normal to dry, you probably don't have as many wrinkles. So it was beneficial for you. So oil, let's talk about oil. Oil can be a frustrating thing to deal with. Sometimes you have more oil in the summertime or in the humid climates because naturally it's humid and you sweat, you perspire, and more oil is excreted. Sometimes you have to switch your skincare because to help control the oil. However, let's say I love this product for oil, 2 products for oil. Number 1, they're great to keep in your purse. The first one is the Mary Kay Beauty Blotters. This is a product that I don't talk about very often. I have combination skin. I mean, mostly normal to dry, but I do get a little bit more oil in the summertime. So these are just like little tissues. They're great to keep in your purse. They come in a pack of 75. And you just, let me see if I have any shine anywhere. You just tap, you just kind of press it on the skin and it absorbs the oil. I don't really have any oil right now, but you just press it on the skin and it absorbs the excess oil. There we go. There was a little bit. Okay. There we go. You see that? So it absorbed the oil I had on my forehead. That's usually where I see a little bit more oil on my skin. So it just gently absorbs the oil without messing up your makeup. There's no smudging. There's no like adding more powder to get rid of the shine. Just gently press the tissue, the beauty blotter to get the excess oil off your skin. And you just throw it away and it's done. I love keeping those in my purse. The other thing I love is for women that are kind of like me, combination skinned or really oily skinned. And the reason I say that is because if you have oily skin, you're like, Sarah, I'm like an oil slick. Please give me anything to absorb all of the oil on my skin. And that's the Mary Kay Oil Mattifier. This product has been around for a really long time and it mattifies the oil on your skin. So sometimes you might find excess oil around the crevices of your nose. Your nose might get excess oil. Maybe you get oil on your forehead or your chin. Sometimes people get more oil through here than the rest of their face. So if you're oily skinned girl, you can apply this wherever you need it. Now, what's great about this product is you can apply it under your makeup first, or if you forget, you can apply it over your makeup. And all you do is tap, tap, tap with your finger just in the area that you feel like you get that extra shine that you need to control the oil for up to 8 to 10 hours. This has completely made my skin feel mattified. It makes it feel like there's no extra moisture there whatsoever, but it doesn't feel dry. So it's a great product for spot treating the oily areas, okay? And you just tap it on with your finger. You're not going to smudge it. You're going to tap it because you don't want to mess up your makeup. The other thing, great on your nose, but if you're combination skin like me, it's something that I love to offer you because if you are the kind of girl that I say, what type of skin do you have? And you're like, I have combination oily skin. I have combination skin, but I have dry spots. I'm combination and dry. And I'm always like, okay. So that means I need to do this, this, and this for her skincare. So usually with somebody that's dry and oily, usually means she needs some hydration. So I usually like to give those gals normal skincare, because a lot of times you're having excess oil because your skincare is not right. But let's say you still get a little shine. It's like not so bad where you're like an oil slick, but you're like, I still see a little shine. It frustrates me a bit. I just don't want it there, because glow is good, but shine is not, right? You want to have a glow, but you don't want to be like shiny, right? So what I like to tell people to do in that circumstance where you have dry areas, and so giving you oil control skincare is probably going to make you too dry in the areas that are, not oily. This product is great for that. You just apply it, or you get that extra shine just in those spots, and you're good to go. And the rest of your skincare is evening out your skin tone, evening out your oil control, and balancing the hydration levels without feeling like you're dry in some spots, oily in the other. This kind of just controls the spots that need to be controlled. It's a little bit that goes a long way. And if you're into photography, if you're getting photos taken, this is an essential product. It will completely get rid of the flashbacks. It will keep everything from really getting shiny. It's a perfect product for the wedding day and event makeup. Of course, I say that because you never know who's getting married. There are brides getting married, and they're booking their weddings. So that is the class for pro tips and touch-ups. And I had offered before, if you were interested in I didn't do one thing. Hold on. If you're interested in this document that I've been using the whole time, please message me or just comment below, and I will be more than happy to get it to you. The last and final product for Pro Touch-Ups, and I know this was a longer class, so I appreciate you guys staying on. There's a lot to cover for Pro Touch-Ups because, let's face it, those perfect faces take stuff, take product, take techniques. It takes tools to keep it perfect and make it look flawless. And the final product, and a lot of you have this product, okay? So it's the Mary Kay Finishing Spray. And I love this product. It's one of my favorite Mary Kay products, but it can be used multiple different ways. And this product, let me show you how you're supposed to use it. After you apply your whole face of makeup, okay, you're going to close your eyes, and you're going to spray your face in an X and then down the center. I add a little extra. My thought process is you can never have too much finishing spray. I always spray under my chin so I don't get any rub off on my scarves and my jackets in the winter time. And if it's a humid day, I just add extra, because why not? My face stays perfect because I add finishing spray. It does not fade. My makeup stays perfect even if I perspire. I can also use this product with any of my brushes, because remember, these are synthetic. These can be used with wet products or dry products. So if I want to make my color a little bit more vibrant, or I'm using like a high shimmer, like our new foil eyeshadow duos, I could spray one of my brushes, the all over shadow brush or the cream color brush that we talked about, dip it in the shadow. I'm just going to put something on my lid and just tap it to add some extra pop of brightness or pungent color by using a little bit of that finishing spray on the brush to give me more pop or power for the color I'm applying. I like doing that a lot with the highlighting type colors because it makes them pop more. Okay, so that is the finale of our makeup masterclass. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. I really hope you learned something, and I would love to know what you learned. And if you have any questions, please comment below. I will go back and answer your questions. And if I can assist you with anything, or you're a consultant, please reach out to her. She can help customize any of the brushes that you may need. People say, well, what brushes do I need? I think you need them all. And I'm just saying that because I truly believe that you will use all of them. They add value to your makeup routine if you want to look really, really, really flawless with your makeup. Now, I'm giving away, are you ready for the giveaway? And congratulations to Maria. Last week, she won the giveaway. I forgot to tell you even what it was. She won a brow bundle, the brow tint and eyebrow pencil last week. And this week, I'm looking for the brushes. I'm giving away the eyeshadow trio set. And that is an all-over shadow brush, a crease brush, and an eye smudger brush. So this little trio bundle to get those perfect eyes, because guess what? We're all wearing face masks, And some of you are working in an office and the only thing people are seeing is your eyes. So let's play up that eyeshadow, girls, because that's what people see. It's the window to your soul, apparently, right? So if you have any questions, go ahead and post below. Have a wonderful Thursday evening. Thank you for tuning in. I know this was a long one. And stay tuned for our next series of fun classes we'll be doing. I will be posting about that soon. Have a great night, ladies. Thank you.